a very harsh reality that we all have to come to as humans. And I think it's difficult to grasp, and I still struggle with grasping it. But at the end of the day, it's everything is up to you. Nobody is going to come and save you or pull you out. I mean, sometimes it would be nice, but at the end of the day, you are in charge of how you show up and how you act. And so that's number one. And that's just an overall mindset that I try to have every single day of I'm doing the best that I can do. And I know in the long term that will help me get better as time goes on.
Welcome to the Art of Rebounding. I'm your host, Harold Lefty Williams, former pro athlete, motivator, and believer in second chances. Each week, we'll dive deep into stories and strategies built on positioning, persistence, and purpose to help you rise, rebuild, and reclaim your next chapter. Now, this isn't just a regular podcast, it's your opportunity to rise again, and this time with purpose. I'm excited because all this week we've been interviewing Duke student athletes, and it's just been a joy. It's just been a pleasure. And today is no different. I am joint with me today. I'm joined with a women's golfer. This is amazing, and she's amazing. I'm super excited. Please welcome to the show, Andie Smith. Andie, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me this evening.
Oh man, you're welcome. You're so welcome. Thank you for coming on. I have an amazing love for North Carolina. I lived there for 7 years, although I live on the West Coast now. I live in LA, but my oldest two children were born in North Carolina. And
Oh,
so I love this whole North Carolina thing we got going on today.
that's wonderful. Yeah,
Okay. All
it's a
right, let's
great
jump right. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Let's jump right into it. So, my question for you today is, well, before we get into that, so many people are faced with so many things. They're dealing with so many different things, whether it be, job, career choices, at home, just so many things. And I feel like you'll be able to speak to a lot of these things, just like your other student athletes were able to just peel back the roof, if you will, to kind of give insight on life and try to help some people today. You ready to
Sure.
do that?
Yeah, of
All
course.
right, let's go. So my first question for you is, why did you choose Duke, and when did you first feel deep down that this was, precisely where you were meant to be, both as a student and as an athlete?
Yeah, great question. Thank you for the question. I would first say that my recruiting journey for playing competitive Division 1 golf started very early on. I was actually in 8th grade when I first got exposed to college coaches, and I was very fortunate to receive an offer at the beginning of my freshman year of high school to play golf at Duke. And at the point, there was rules and regulations where I couldn't even meet with the coaches on campus. So I went for a traditional campus tour that students will go on and tour the campus and whatnot. And my mom and I were walking down Chapel Drive, and I had the view of the chapel, and it was a beautiful day in the fall. The leaves were changing, and the campus looks like Harry Potter, and I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. And I looked at my mother and I said, this is where I'm meant to be. So that was the first impression of just campus. And everybody says it who goes to campus. It is a beautiful place to be. It really is so special. And in terms of a student and as an athlete, I would say my adjustment with my team and my coaches the first week of class and moving in was a seamless experience. Everyone was so welcoming and so helpful and really checking in on me. Is first time away from home, first time away from my family. So it was a big adjustment, as is any student going into college their first time. And they really made that transition really easy for me. And I would say as an athlete, our first event of the fall, I made the lineup as a freshman and I threw up 3 under in the second round. And that was a moment where I said, wow, like I can compete with these girls. My coach puts us in a lot of times all of our tournaments are top fields with all of the top golf schools. Most of the time they're all top 10, if not top 20 golf programs. And I was able to compete as a freshman with all of these girls. And it was that first moment where I was didn't know, wow, like Duke is so great in golf and in academics, but it was in then where I knew I could be a Duke student athlete and excel at it.
Wow, that's pretty cool. That's pretty amazing. I want to say that I have a new hot honey that's getting ready to come out. Honey Bee Hotness, right? Just to switch gears real quick. This is going to be amazing. Everyone needs to see this. So this episode is brought to you by Honey Bee Hotness with Harold Lefty Williams. And shout out to Creative Fire Kiln and Kitchen. My next question I want to ask you is, what does a day in your life look like during the season, and what keeps you pushing through the most demanding parts of your routine? Because I too was an athlete,
Mhm.
and I'm big on routine. Like it has to be. I need my nap at this time. I need this. Everything has to go a certain way for me to stay, locked in. How's it for you?
Yeah, completely understandable. I think always having that mindset of it's a grind and you need to lock in at the times that you need to. And a day in the life for me looks like I like to think of my peak work hours as early in the morning. So a lot of times I'll get up before my classes and I'll get some studying and I'll get some homework and I'll look at my week, plan my week ahead, plan my day, and have like that quiet time where I get to eat my breakfast and look at my email or an assignment that I have to do. And it's just a nice time, a good segue into the day. And from there, I have classes every morning. After class, I will go practice or train in the weight room. And we train in the weight room about 3 days a week, but practice during season is almost every single day. And it really is a balance of being very determined and disciplined about when you're going to think about your schoolwork and when you're going to think about your golf. Because being at a place like Duke, where you have top tier academics and you're competing for a national championship on a team that wants to win, it's very hard to balance the two. But it's something that I think Duke student athletes do very great. And you're surrounded by a incredible support system that genuinely wants you to succeed. And so class to golf, and then there's that frame, the dinner time frame, really, where I get to have dinner with my teammates, and we have an athlete dining hall on campus, which is awesome. So I get to sit with my team, I get to say hi to a lot of the other teams, and it's really a great dynamic and a good time to reset and push away the school and the golf and just be a college kid. And then after that, in the evenings, I go to do some work. Sometimes if I don't have a lot of work, I'll put on a movie or just like have like some chill time to myself before getting into bed. And obviously sleep is very important, so I try to get 8 to 10 hours of sleep every single night.
Oh yeah, no, tell me, trust me, that's something that that is needed, especially if you want to make sure that you're headed to the next level, to keep being the very best that you can be. As you said, it's very competitive school, very competitive sport, and just like we wouldn't have it any other way as athletes. Like we want to compete. This is what we want to do. You know what I mean? What is your favorite moment? At that you've had at Duke, and why is it so meaningful to you?
I would say from an athletic standpoint, a little over a year ago today, my team and I won. I won individually, and my team won the team title at the Ruth Chris Tar Heel Invitational, which is hosted by UNC. And it was my first collegiate win. It was our first team win of the season. And it was just a great full circle moment of all of the work that we were putting in behind the scenes. It finally paid off. It was a very stacked field of a lot of very talented and competitive golfers, and we came out on top at the end of the tournament. And so that was a great boost to our confidence, and it really united us moving forward into the rest of the fall season and going into the spring. I would also say, just from a Duke student athlete perspective, I have two incredible memories. One, beating UNC at home, and a tradition of Duke is burning benches on the quad. So we have the fire department come in, all the students gather around. It's a bonfire of the big quad benches. And then secondly, I would say I was at the Duke Clemson football game, not this season, but last season, and we got to rush the field, which was
Wow.
so cool and a great experience. So you have a balance of high level competition, but then also being a crazy sports fan because you go to Duke. So I have so many good memories, but those are just top three off the top of the head.
No, that's that's pretty cool. Um, there's someone listening to us right now, right? And they're driving in their car, they're watching uh us on television, and they're saying, man, this is something that I would want to do, but this got in the way. This is something I wanted to aspire to, but there's always like a but that keeps coming that holds them back. 30 seconds. What would you say to that person that would maybe help them get back on their horse and position themselves to run after what's already trying to make its way towards them?
Yeah. I would say a very harsh reality that we all have to come to as humans, and I think it's difficult to grasp, and I still struggle with grasping it, but at the end of the day, it's everything is up to you. Nobody is going to come and save you or pull you out. I mean, sometimes it would be nice, but at the end of the day, you are in charge of how you show up and how you act. And so that's number one. And that's just an overall mindset that I try to have every single day of I'm doing the best that I can do. And I know in the long term that will help me get better as time goes on. And the second part I would say is that mistakes and failing are something to be encouraged. And I know that may sound a little weird, but mistakes and failures are often the biggest learning experiences and those biggest moments of inner reflection and those times where you learn the most about yourself, you know what you're going to do going forward, and they should be welcomed as like you're doing something right. If you're not failing, then you're not trying hard enough. And so that's how I try to look at
Say
things.
that again. Please say that again.
If you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough. And in a sport like golf, most of it is failing and you have to accept it. But getting if you're not you need to be comfortable with uncomfortable situations. And at the end of the day, that's just life throughout. Like we're all going to get stuff thrown at us and everyone's going through something in their lives. Like it's always going to be hard, but that's what makes pushing towards something great so much better, or showing up for the things that matter in your life so much better. And like going back to like making mistakes, failing, because you're gonna see a change in your mind and your body, and you're gonna know what you want going forward. And if it's something like, oh, I should have done that, well, or I didn't want to do that, I can't believe I did that. It's more of like if you do something wrong, or even if you don't like something, or you make a mistake, or you fail, you're one step closer towards achieving that goal or getting that job. Like if it's not meant for you, like I do believe everything happens for a reason. And what's meant for you will come. And you just
You
have
know,
to
I
show up
say,
every day and can keep going.
if it's meant for you, you can't lose it, but if it's not meant for you, you can't keep it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I say, you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable so you can be comfortable. And that's
Exactly.
very, 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 very important. Um, that's pretty well said. I hope that you are enjoying the art of rebounding. Do me a favor. I need you to hit that subscribe button. Also need you to like, comment, share. Do it for me. Do it for your boy, Harold Lefty Williams. Always remember, dare to dream. What's something about being a Duke athlete that people on the outside don't see or understand, and how has that helped you grow as a student athlete at Duke?
Yeah. I would say it's very easy to assume that every athlete is isolated within themselves, within their team. And I don't believe that's at all true at a place like Duke. Just the camaraderie, like I mentioned, going to our dining hall, which is called training table. We're constantly exposed to athletes around us, and everybody is such a high performer and a high achiever that it creates this atmosphere of positivity and encouragement, and everybody's uplifting each other. Like we were all, when women's soccer went into the Final Four, we were all cheering for them throughout the entire week leading up to it. And it really is a community of student athletes supporting student athletes. So I love going to not just men's basketball and football, but all these other sporting events at Duke, because I believe like at every single sport we excel. We have great student athletes. They try. We excel. We succeed, and it's a great atmosphere and an environment to be a part of. And you don't just want to do it for your team, but you want to do it for your school and the other student athletes, and you want to make them proud. So I would say that even though I'm not best friends with a lot of other people on other teams, like we still keep tabs on what each team is doing, how they're excelling. If we see them, we say hello. Like it's always just very positive, and I do believe it's a tight-knit community. It's really special. I don't think a lot of schools have that.
No, that's pretty cool. And no, they don't. Not a lot of schools do have that. I can guarantee you that. If you could speak directly to your younger self or a kid dreaming of attending Duke, what is the most crucial piece of advice or encouragement that you would want to share with yourself or that person?
Yeah. I mean, going back to what I said earlier, I think number one is reframing how you look at mistakes and failing and working hard. And at the end of the day, to get to where I am today, I had to put in hours and hours and hours of work behind the scenes. And it's you have seasons of your life that are unbalanced, and you have to get really clear on what you want and where you want to be, or where you want to go. And it doesn't have to be right, but just know that you're pushing towards a goal. Like I always love pushing towards a goal, pushing towards an achievement, just always pushing and striving to be better. Whether it's internally with myself or in my golf game, I think always having something to work towards, it makes the work and the commitment that much easier to show up every day. And yeah, I mean, there's so much to hit on, but and then I guess another thing that I would tell myself is at the same time, take it seriously, but don't take it so seriously. Like time flies by so fast and you don't realize how quickly the time goes by. I'm closing up my final fall semester and I'm heading into my spring senior season. And I look back and the time has flown by. And I would just say, cherish every moment, whether it's with your family or with your team, because you don't know when those times are going to be up.
I think that's well said. I think it's so true. For me, it went extremely fast. It went too fast, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Um, Listen, I hope everyone's enjoying the podcast. I wanted to get a chance to come on and tell you quickly that I have a brand new book that's getting ready to come out. It's called, you guessed it, The Art of Rebounding. I'm going to help you bounce back. I'm going to show you different ways on how you can position yourself. I'm going to show you how you can persevere, how you too can get through to grab control and position yourself into the purpose that you want to see. So make sure that you go to theartofrebounding.com to join the waiting list. Head on over to theartofrebounding.com to join the waiting list. If you haven't gotten a chance to follow or subscribe to the audio side of the show, make sure you go to iHeart Radio and do that first, and then you can go to every other platform and do it as well. All right. Now, back to the show. Now, I have like an Avengers section, right, where it's like because when you think of the Avengers, they win, right? They get the job done, right? Or you think of the Marines, right? They get the job done, right?
Mhm.
So I want to play a game with you. Who is in your top five, right? Greatest um that's had the most influential influence on your life to this point that would have helped you thus far, all the way to Duke.
Okay. I would first say my family. So my mom, my dad, my brother, they are my core. They are why I do what I do. They make it so easy for me to show up and they're always so supportive of me. I would say my coaches that I'm very fortunate to have been with the same coaches since I was 9 years old. So yeah, golf swing coaches. So I don't see that very often. So they've seen me grow from like 4'5" into now 5'4", which isn't a lot, but it's anyways. They've seen me grow throughout all my teenage years and now into my early 20s. So, and they've been so helpful in putting me in a position to hit the ball well and show up for competition. And they've just always been so supportive of me every step of the way. I would then say my two coaches at Duke who gave me the opportunity to play at a place like this and compete with some of the best players in the country and in the world. And I'm now at a stage in my final year where all these doors are opening to these wonderful opportunities to not just represent Duke, but represent my home state of Florida, my country. And it's really special and a full circle moment to get there, because looking back my freshman year self, if I would have known how far I'd come and all these things that are beginning to pan out, like side effects of all the hard work that I put in, I don't know if I would have believed it. So there's there's so many people that have been influential and supportive along the way. I am a people person, and I love being around my loved ones and my friends and my family and my coaches, and they make it so easy for me to do what I do because it's fun and I get to spend time with them while doing it. And at the end of the day, they're always uplifting me. Even when I fail and I feel like I take 5 steps back, they're the ones pushing me forward and getting me back on track. And so I'm so grateful to have that behind me.
No, I think that's pretty good. And I want to give you your flowers while you can. I want to let you hear a few things. Obviously, you're native of Florida, Duke grad in 3 years, right?
Yes.
Starting, how do I say, is it Fuqua? Did I say it right?
Yeah. Yuqua, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, starting Fuqua, MMS 25-26, preseason golf channel honorable mention, All-American. Okay. Golf Week honorable mention. Put some respect on her name. Amazing. So just want to give you those flowers. Just a little history that you already knew, you know.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Your future definitely looks bright. Thank you so much for taking the time to spend this time with me on the art of rebound. And I'm sure that so many people have been able to learn something. And I'm sure there's something that you have said or I have said which would have been very encouraging to them. What I've been doing more so, what a lot of the athletes from Duke is taking a step back to allow the floor to go more open towards the athlete, to let them speak more and more into the lives of the audience. So I appreciate you. Once again, this segment is sponsored by Honeybee Hotness with your boy Harold Lefty Williams. That's me. Shout out to Creative Fire Kiln and Kitchen for the amazing collab. Just super duper excited about your future. Super duper excited. You're graduating. Your life is just beginning. It's only gonna get better.
Thank
You know what I mean?
thank
So
thank you so much.
thank you so much. That's it for this episode of the Art of Rebounding. Remember, the fall is not what defines you; it's how you rise that writes your legacy. Whether you're learning how to just crawl again or just finding the strength to stand up on your own 2 feet, just to stand for balance. I can't walk yet, but I can stand. That's okay. Know this. You were made for more. You were built to bounce back. And just like you're waiting for that rebound to come, I need you to start to begin to take baby steps to make your way towards it because it's already making its way towards you. Follow me on social media on all platforms at Lefty Williams 42 and follow the show, The Art of Rebounding. We're always here to hear about your comebacks and how you were able to position yourself. I really enjoy getting that feedback. Until next time, always remember, dare to dream.